Did I send her that? I think I did. I'll go ahead and send her this. Okay, so now I've got both those cut paths on top of each other, but now what I need to do, go to my edit. Well, assuming that I already set a max pass of 0.3 on the other one. This one's a full depth, going to be a full depth. I was set the same settings to make sure those tabs aren't taken out. Yeah, you got to make sure all that's the same. And now you've got the opportunity to do an inset. Now, inset, in fact, I told Robert Davis the other day exactly opposite of what it is, but when you use a positive number, that's going to move the bit inwards towards the center of the board, or the center of this closed shape. Use a negative number, then it's going to go outwards. So Randy mentioned that he uses just 1/1000th of an inch. Did you say 1,000th or 10,000? 10,000ths, okay. So we got 10,000ths of an inch there, except, and so what's going to happen then at the machine, the very last cut will be that cleanup pass.
So how do you assure it's going to do the second one and the second and the first one?
I don't know. He was saying, how are you sure that the cleanup pass is going to be last?
Black magic.
Awfully quiet.
You know,
That'd be the problem.
because I'm working right now on about 5 different machines, and
It gets muddled, doesn't it?
yeah, I'm not sure on the Carvewright how to address that. Joe probably could address that if
Yeah.
you could control your cutting order.
We don't have a cutting order control per
That's
se.
necessarily the order.
Yeah, what it does is it'll try to optimize from the large bits, the small bits. It always starts with the carve region. So it'll do all the carving regions first, then it'll optimize from large bits to small bits. And then if you've got several things like your 1/8" bit cutouts, it'll usually try to do those in the order you have them in the list.
Yeah. Oh, so it is the order. Yeah.
So, but it's not completely by that order, because it's going to do carve regions, then your larger routing bits if you have
Right.
those, you know, like your bevel bits and things like that, and then it's going to do, you know, like your 1/8" bit and the 16" bit, that type of thing. And it usually goes in and picks them in the order that they're in the list, unless it's a bunch of little cuts, then it might try to optimize them, keep from moving the board.
Yeah,
Oh, that's good to know.
I've tended to notice that too, that even though we don't really have cutting order control per se, that in a case like this where I've got these doubled up items and I've created one before the other, they're both cut paths. I'm reasonably sure that the machine is going to know to do which one first. But, you know, test me on this. Do an experiment. If the first one is a full depth cut, then you know, okay, I've got to have 2 separate files here, which means go ahead and create that and do a save as, so you got blah, 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 ever assigned version 2, delete everything except for that one cut path, leave your board in after you're all done, and you can do your cleanup pass that way. It's a separate project. But be aware that when it's measuring the board width, you've already got carved regions there. You're going to have to place a piece of tape over that so that board sensor doesn't get fooled that it thinks the board's only that thick now, or only that wide.
Right.
So, yes.
If you were going to use the rough and the finish cutout, would there be advantages for using a larger bit for the rough cutout?
No. No, not really. You only have 2 choices. Oh, excuse me. You would have to do, if you wanted to do a cutout with anything other than an 1/8" bit, you're going to have to manually assign bits like a 3/16 or something of that nature. We've got that choice now.
What was the digital setting that you used for the 10,000ths of an inch?
0.01.
0.01?
Yeah, it's when I start adding more zeros I get confused. How many thousandths is this now?
Converting back and forth. Crazy.
It comes second half.
Okay, we've already talked about this. The commercial programs available for vector drawing are CorelDRAW, I mean the common ones, CorelDRAW, Adobe Illustrator, practically any 2D CAD program. There's a free CAD program